Coming up on this edition of the Patcast, Coach Keith Houston stops by to put a period on Blyville with a few question marks for Wynn. How will the injuries affect his offense? Coming up a little bit later, Brandon Gray stops by with a host from the community to talk about the hometown showdown. Finally, we end with Monk's Maulers as we look back at the Blyville game and look forward to Wynn. All that and more coming up on this week's edition of the Patcast.
Welcome back to the MHS Cyber Studios here with the Patcast, sitting down with head football coach Keith Houston. Coach, so far 1-0. What's your overall thoughts on the first game against Blyville?
I thought we did a lot of things okay, but we still a long way away from where we want to be. Got to clean up some things, and execute a little bit better on the offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball, and then the special team game. And you keep working to get where you want to be later on in the season.
Blyville scored the first 14 points in the game. Then your defense comes out and shuts them out the rest of the game. What did you think of your defense's performance?
Oh, I thought they played well, and again, we didn't have to coach a lot of effort. We was able to go in on Saturday and correct the mistakes and get better at what we need to get better at. But overall, I thought those kids did a really good job.
What do you think of the resiliency of Daedric after a first quarter like that to be able to step up, end up throwing 3 touchdowns over 200 yards?
Well, I mean, that's what you get when you're talking about one of the best players in the state of Arkansas playing quarterback for you. He's a resilient kid. After having a year under his belt, him throwing a pick six wasn't really big to him. He came to the sideline and he was like, "Coach, that's my fault. I'll fix it." So he done what he was supposed to do, and we was able to put some points on the board for sure.
Next week, we're staying here this Friday against the Wynn Yellow Jackets. Last year, go to overtime, end up beating them by 1. Coach Van Pascal up at Wynn, they do a fantastic job. What are you expecting from the Jackets this year?
Nothing less of what we had last year. Van does a really good job with those kids over there, and the type of offense they run. You have to be play assignment football on the defensive side of the ball, and if one person mess up, it could be a touchdown. So that's what we've been preaching to our guys all week. Sometimes guys kind of want to make a lot of plays, but when you just fit in the gap you're supposed to fit in against this type of offense, you're making a play.
Yellow Jackets have had at least a share of the conference title that they're in for the last 4 years. What kind of lessons can you teach your team against playing a team like that?
Well, I mean, just they do the things that they're supposed to do each and every week, and we preach to our kids about practicing hard Monday through Thursday. And if anybody know Van, he's going to practice those kids pretty hard through the week. And they always give themselves a chance to win football games on Friday night based off of what they do during the week. So, I just tell our kids that, we got to continue to do that. If we want to win on Friday nights, we have to continue to work hard Monday through Thursday. And that's when we give ourselves a chance to win.
You kind of broke down a little bit what you need to do defensively, playing assignment defense. What about offense? What are some things you want to see your offense do against the Yellow Jacket defense?
Just continue to execute. And we don't need to rush things on the offensive side of the ball. I think our offensive line have to do a really, really good job for us to get our running game started so we can open up the pass. Our receivers are going to have to run really good routes and catch the ball. Daedric going to have to do a really good job of making the right read, and our running backs are going to have to run hard. So, every week it'll be the same thing for us. Offensively and defensively is play assignment football and execute, eliminate the mistakes, and, we have a chance to be successful.
It seemed like whenever we had some answered questions, some new questions came up in the Blyville game, specifically with the 2 injuries to Slade and Kentrell. Who's going to be those next guys up behind them? We know Anthony's going to probably be starting at running back.
For sure.
But who could probably be behind him?
It's a few guys that could be in that spot. You know, we moved a sophomore, Cam Anderson, to the defensive side of the ball because we wanted to find a way to get him on the field. As a sophomore, we knew he was going to be able to help us, so we moved him to the defensive side of the ball, but he's a running back. So we've given him some opportunity to get over there on the offensive side of the ball and learn some stuff that we're doing. Antonio Graves was a running back before we got here, and we moved him to the defensive side of the ball. So he's another kid that could possibly see some time at the running back position for sure.
And at wide receiver, who's going to step up and kind of take that number one receiver role, and then who steps in at the 4?
Well, I mean, you know, you got guys that's playing that was there with Slade, but you got Caden Hunt that's gonna step up and be play a vital role in what we're gonna do. DJ Johnson is gonna have to step up and do a good job. Mara Cage is gonna have to step up and do a good job. And Caleb Catt is a young kid that each and every day is being more and more impressive with catching the football and being consistent, learning what to do, learning the different concepts. And you know, we got guys, you know, like we talked about earlier in that first show, you know, that was the group that had the most depth. So now it's time for guys to step up and take advantage of your opportunity, and that's what we tell these kids all the time. You know, you one play away. You never know what's going to happen, so when your number's called, you need to take advantage of it.
What did you think of the atmosphere at Patriot Stadium?
Oh, man, it was live. It was live. Everybody was there, you know. I didn't notice it at that point, but I got a picture the day after of how packed the stands was. You know, I was so caught up in the game, we had a really, really good crowd. And anytime we play in that stadium, man, the atmosphere is crazy. And, you know, we would love for people to continue to pack that place out because without them, you know, we're not the same team. We like the energy that's in the stands, and we feed off of it.
Right. Coach Keith Houston, we'll be right back with the Patcast.
Are you on the hunt for a quality late model vehicle at a great wholesale price? Not interested in gimmicks and high-pressure sales? Want to complete your purchase in minutes instead of hours? Then stop searching and come by King Motor Company in Marion. Located just 10 miles from Memphis, King Motor Company is not your typical sales environment or car buying experience.
Our customers are our friends, and our friends are our customers. No pressure, no haggle, no dock fee, just quality vehicles at wholesale prices. Come shop with us. We'll save you money.
Finner Physical Therapy has been serving Crittenden County since opening in Marion in 2007. 11 years later, you can find them throughout eastern Arkansas. Their treatment options include physical, occupational, and speech therapy services at all 5 of their locations. Other therapy services include sports injury rehab and prevention. Finner Physical Therapy further boasts the only aquatic therapy pool in the region at their West Memphis Delta Orthopedics and Sports Medicine location. Does your student athlete have a recent injury that needs rehab or even a past injury that needs strengthening?
Finner Physical Therapy got me back on the court stronger than ever.
Call the Finner Physical Therapy team to find out more about how we work to strengthen the Delta. Finner Physical Therapy, a proud Patriot partner. And welcome back to this week's edition of the Patcast. Sitting down with some of the more popular and influential faces in our community. I got Mr. Brandon Gray, Mr. Fred Leonard of Fred Leonard State Farm, and of course, Mr. Mike Chesney from JR&K Printing. Thank y'all so much for dropping by.
Thank you, Lynn.
Once again, we're talking about the St. Jude Game Day Give Back and its role in the hometown showdown. Right now, we want to talk about just an update of things, as well as the whole story behind this. So I'm going to start with Mr. Leonard. The hometown showdown. Bring us up to speed on how this started, what we're working with.
Sure. So, Landon, here's what kind of happened. We originally just had a tailgate. My fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi, had started a tailgate here. And I moved to town in 2017, and so I was asked by our current, ProMark, which is our president, Brandon Gray, to assist them in sponsorships. Something that I did in 2001, I started an event called the Showcase in Jonesboro. And we gathered some teams around the area. We even had West Memphis as one of our first teams in 2001. And what we did, we had a big jamboree at Arkansas State University Stadium. So all games were played there. So it was on a large scale. I had my fraternity there in Jonesboro. part of that in that event as well, and we ran it through the Chamber of Commerce. So when Brandon asked me to come on board, I looked at it as an opportunity to assist our fraternity in the tailgate, but I had a greater vision, something on the scale of what I did in Jonesboro. And so that's what we've evolved to now with the Fred Leonard State Farm Hometown Showdown. We never had a title sponsor. Brandon and I, in last year's game here at Marion, we thought about how can we make this bigger, better, and grander. So we looked at our sponsorships. We didn't have a title sponsor, and so we said, hey, let's look for a title sponsor. I said, well, hey, I'll serve as the first title sponsor of the event. And so it kind of evolved from there. That's how I became a title sponsor. And then we created some other sponsorship opportunities, which Brandon will talk to you later about. So that's kind of how it got started.
So it just sounds like some people had a good idea and a drive to make it happen, and the proven success from Jonesboro.
Correct.
And it has definitely become a huge event over the past couple of years with the tailgate and everything that goes with that, and it just gets bigger and bigger. And that's happening again this year, bigger and better than ever. So talk about a little bit of an update for Hometown Showdown this year with your sponsorships or anything that we need to know to be a part of that.
All right. Well, first thing, definitely everything that Fred said, that's kind of the origins of it. I would be remiss if I didn't give kudos to Mike Chesney with JRK Printing, because without him, there's no way that we could do this at this scale. I mean, he pretty much from day one, helped us out with the T-shirts, the design. And so because of that, because of his generosity and his wife's, Heather's, generosity, obviously the name of the event is called the Fred Leonard State Farm Hometown Showdown. But the tailgate itself has now taken on another meaning. So we actually named it the JRK Printing Tailgate Party. And it's more of a tribute to Mike and his wife and all of their generosity. But as far as the tailgate itself, everything is going great. We're still selling sponsorships. You can go to our website, www.hometownshodownAR.com. You can download your packet. There are a lot of different levels out there. The proceeds will go directly back into both schools, as well as ASU Mid-South, and also our friends at the Boy Scouts of America. So it's the game is the game, as I say, but at the same time, it's a way for us to give back. And obviously, we still have the partnership going with St. Jude, so don't forget about that as well.
Right, and I know that we certainly have put a lot onto St. Jude, but there are a lot of facets to this that you're talking about. And one of those facets is the fundraising efforts with JR&K.
Right.
Mike, can you talk about how this process works, this individual facet with the T-shirts and
Right.
their differentiation?
Right. So along with the sponsorships that Fred and Brandon have gotten together, we have, this year we're trying to get a more concerted effort to sell shirts as a fundraiser to benefit both teams. The sales will benefit both teams. The shirts, a lot of people can't go to the game, but this is a way to support both teams. If you buy a shirt, this is a way to get in and help. If you can't do the bigger sponsorships, this is a smaller level that you can get at, and you are benefiting. Each sale does benefit the schools, and so that's what we are kind of focusing on this year to that everybody can contribute, whether you can attend the game or not. So we're doing that right now. You can get the shirts. They're available through the schools at Marion. You can contact Linda Robinson. And you can go on the Hometown Showdown website, and there's a link there as well. And you can also buy it directly off jrnkprinting.com. You can get that as well. So that's something new we're trying to get going this year.
Talking about really briefly that St. Jude game day give back, as of Wednesday, because this is definitely pre-recorded, September 4th, it looked like Team Patriot had the lead, but ASU Mid-South coming on strong. How has the receptiveness to this game day give back been with the community and your travels throughout it?
Okay. I can say that it's definitely something that the community as a whole is rallying around. I know I've been to some Patriot volleyball games, football games. Patriot Nation is definitely doing a great job. ASU Mid-South, they're right there on the heels. Team Blue Devil, and then Fred Leonard State Farm. So everybody's coming together because that's one thing that we all can kind of wrap our arms around is children, especially those children that unfortunately, they have a situation that is unfortunate, and so it's just a way where everybody can get back. So.
Mr. Leonard and Mr. Chesney as well, both having your brands and your names next to St. Jude as a partner in this, what does that mean to you?
So having my brand next to St. Jude's brand means a lot to me. It means the world to me because my brand is such that I want to give back to the communities that I serve. Marion and West Memphis is the immediate community, but the entire state of Arkansas, I serve the entire state of Arkansas. So it's just a cause that I believe in wholeheartedly. Giving back to not just those in West Memphis and Marion, the St. Jude brand is a global brand.
Mm-hmm. And how about you? How is your connection?
The same thing with what Fred is saying. It's a great brand. It's recognized, all over the world. So it's not that we're trying to associate, but it's definitely good to partner up and have them be a part of what we're trying to do here. It just builds more awareness, and anytime you can help the kids at the schools and the kids that with their problems that they have dealing with what they deal with at St. Jude on a day-to-day basis is just, if we can help at all, it's great. So.
Yeah, and it's on Team Patriots, and it's definitely been a pleasure working with Emily Hall and making these things happen. And if you're watching this should be going out on Friday. Later tonight, we are playing Win. We are going to have our final home game where we are partnering with St. Jude. We are doing the Score for the Cure. You will see me coming out of the press box again. You'll have the opportunity to purchase a shout out for your favorite student athlete on the field in any capacity, cheerleader, band member, it doesn't matter, football player. Just donate $10, write your shout out, and I'll make sure that it gets read in between a quarter. So we are definitely well on our way and working well with that. Guys, thank y'all so much for coming by. This has been a pleasure to have this conversation to make sure that everybody knows the concerted efforts to make this event successful and enjoyable by all. So thank y'all.
Thank you, Landon, for having us out.
We'll be right back.
JR&K Printing has been providing printing services for over 30 years, printing everything from business cards to booklets. JR&K Printing also has the newest equipment to help produce the lowest cost signs, banners, and custom t-shirts. Look us up on Facebook or visit www.jrkprinting.com, a proud Patriot partner.
At Faulkner Eye Clinic, they strive to treat you the way that you want to be treated, with top quality eye care by use of technology and experience. Quality to them means being thorough and finding out how you use your vision, thus helping your efficiency. The long-term health of your eyes and vision need to be protected. That's why pictures of your retina and scans of your eyes can be important parts of protecting your vision from health issues like diabetes and high blood pressure, or vision issues like cataracts, macular degeneration, or glaucoma. Faulkner Eye Clinic. They want to help you help yourself. A proud Patriot partner.
Welcome back to the Patcast. Monks, Maulers, breaking down what I want to see on offense and defense this week for the Patriots against the Win Yellow Jackets. Win a share of the conference title last year in the 5A East, so this will be a pretty challenging opponent here. They're returning some of their players. They've got a pretty solid running back, and that's what they're known for, is running the ball. But first things first, I want to break down the Patriot offense from Blytheville and some things that we need to keep doing against the Yellow Jackets. First things first, Slade Webb. He's out for the foreseeable future. Not exactly sure when he's coming back. I've heard several different things on that, but one thing I do want to point out here, any wide receiver can do this. This is Slade's first touchdown here. He's lined up in the slot. Patriot offense, they're going to fake a run to Anthony right here with some play action. So they fake it to AP, throw to Slade, and he's quick enough to get past the defenders. The reason I want to look at this one, this is a really solid team play, even though it's a passing play. Everybody's always going to give the credit to the wide receiver, and he definitely deserves it here. A great job getting past the defenders. But watch this. I love this end zone view here. We get a fake to AP, doubling down like we're running. He's got a nice little lane right here. Excellent blocking by the Patriot offensive line. It's showing run all the way. Daedric pulls that ball back and fires it down the middle. Slade quick enough. A lot of our receivers can make that play. There's 3 or 4 different receivers I can think of on this team that can make that play. Slade just happened to be the go-to guy at that point. So fantastic play, fantastic blocking. Great job by the Patriot offensive line to give them enough time to make that play. Plus, you do play action like that and you're able to run the ball like that, you can set up something like this second play here. Second and long for the Patriot offense. Anthony Price breaks off a 62-yard touchdown. His second. Slade Webb and Anthony Price with hat tricks in this game, 3 touchdowns apiece. Reason I want to break this one down, very similar to the play action pass. Boom, right there. So we're going to have Ken Brown. He's going to pull around the guard real quick, double down. Very similar there, double team. Here's what I want y'all to take a look at. Boom. Ton of running room there. Landon commented he could drive his bus through that. Excellent room to run. This defender here, not very solid effort. Anthony's just able to blow right past him. Ton of pursuit from the Chickasaws, but it's not going to be enough against AP. Then we get to do what's called go celebrate with your teammates. So all the way to the house and 6 more Patriot points. Very exciting play. On to the win game. Here's what we had last year. This is some clips from last year's broadcast. Wynn's going to run mostly this wing T style of offense here. They're going to use these 2 guys here to do a lot of motion and a lot of running as well. They'll also place a fullback back here. He's going to get a ton of touches as well. So just us spotting and announcing and all that, we're going to have to keep our heads on a swivel. So that should be a fun one. What I like here, third and manageable situation for the Yellow Jackets. This is first quarter here. One thing that has to be on point for the Patriot defense, we got to be able to pursue the ball. So third and manageable, they put a man in motion, they hand off to the fullback, he's got nowhere to run. He ends up gaining a yard on this one. Ended up gaining a yard on that play. They ended up settling for a field goal, ended up getting blocked. So great job by the Patriots to keep the Yellow Jackets off the board. Now we go to another third down situation. This is where Wynn can hurt you. This is 3rd and 10, I believe, from their own 1-yard line. Again, early on, first quarter. Wynn's going to fake again to a man in motion. They're going to hand off to the fullback. He's able to get him. Oh, wait. Forget I said anything. He even fooled me just then. If you take a look at it again, they fake it to that. They fake it from there. The man on the wing on the near side is actually the one getting the ball. And then he takes it downfield for a first down. So big play there. See, that's how confusing this offense can get. I've looked at that play 2 or 3 times and it just slipped me up there. You see something new every time you're looking at this offense. You got to keep your head on a swivel when you're looking at that. So what about passing the ball? Wynn does not pass much. This is a 3rd and long scenario here. They throw a screen route to the wide receiver. To the running back. They throw a screen to this wide receiver that's out in the slot. It's a bad throw, bad catch as well. It gets batted up in the air. Brandon Calvert comes away with the interception. Big turnover there. Just got to create some pressure. Even though it is a screen, they're intentionally giving the quarterback some pressure in a play like this so they can set up blockers downfield. But even with that, the Patriots still able to get a ton of pressure, force a bad throw. Wynn does not throw much. I believe their quarterback finished the season last year with 400 passing yards. They don't pass the ball much, and if we can get them passing the ball, the more Wynn has to pass, the more I like our chances. So that's what I want to see from the Patriot offense and defense this week if we want to get a win over the Yellow Jackets. That's all for this edition of the Patcast. For Landon, I've been Tyler Bennett saying, go Pats.